Hi there. It's November 30th and time for Proverbs 30. Now, this has become my favorite proverb of all of them, and it kind of winds everything up and uncovers the secret of wisdom. These are the words of Agur, son of Jacob. He was a very wise man back in Solomon's time. Okay? And he was writing these to Ithiel and Ukal, which are either students or nobody really knows. But he uncovers the secret of wisdom. Okay? And we're going to read this over here, but we'll probably end up over in the Holman Christian Standard Bible, which is my Bible of choice lately. So. Words of Agur, son of an obedient one, the declaration and affirmation of the man. I have wearied myself for God, I have wearied myself for God, and am consumed. That's a lot. Okay, it doesn't say any of that over here. I've wearied myself for God. Okay. 2, 3, and 4 is the keys, right? For I am more brutish than anyone, and have not the understanding of a man, nor have I learned wisdom. Yet the knowledge of the holy ones I know. It means he hasn't learned those yet. Okay. Who went up to heaven? Who cometh and cometh down? Who hath gathered the wind in his fists? Who hath bound the waters in a garment? Who established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name? Surely thou knowest. She's talking about Jesus. Okay. And this is back in the time of Solomon. Okay, you got that? Jesus. What is his son's name? Right? I've heard 2 or 3. It says, I am more stupid than any other man, and I lack man's ability to understand. I have not gained wisdom, and I have no knowledge of the Holy One. Right? And that's the key to wisdom. The key to wisdom is realizing that you will never be wise, completely wise. You will never know everything. Only God can know everything. Okay? The key to wisdom is realizing that you are not wise. The whole thing. Amazing, huh? Okay, 5 and 6 go together here too. Every saying of God is tried. A shield he is to those trusting in him. Add not to his words, lest he reason with thee, and thou hast been found false. All right. There's a lot of people adding to his words now. Not telling you the truth of the wages of sin and not following and not knowing Jesus. A lot of people trying to make it sound pretty and comfortable when it's not pretty and comfortable, okay? Every one of the apostles were murdered, okay? You can say John wasn't murdered, but they tried. They boiled him alive in oil. He was deep fried alive and didn't die, all right? That's worse than death. Yeah. So, and add not to his words, lest he reason to thee. He will rebuke you, and you will be proved a liar. And there's lots of mega pastors now that have been proved to be liars, right? And have been rebuked by God himself. 7, 2 things I have asked from thee, withhold not before I die. Okay, now this is a prayer. Right? And it goes 7, 8, 9. And there's lots of prayers in the Bible, but this is a prayer that we should all pray. People say, pray Jacob's prayer, pray Joseph's prayer, asking for riches and wisdom and understanding. Listen to Agur's prayer. 2 things I have asked from thee, withhold not from me before I die. Vanity and a lying word put far from me. Poverty or wealth give not to me. Cause me to eat the bread of my portion. Lest I become satiated and have denied and have said, who is Jehovah? And lest I be poor and have stolen and have laid hold of the name of my God. Okay? There's a prayer you can pray. Now let's read it over here. Two things I ask of you, Lord, capital Y of God. Don't deny them to me before I die. Keep falsehood and deceitful words far from me. Give me neither poverty nor wealth. Feed me with the food that I need. Otherwise I might have too much and deny you, saying, who is the Lord? Or I might have nothing and steal, profaning the name of my God. Okay? Well, that's an honest prayer you can pray. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Right? You want just enough. Feed me just enough. Keep lying away from me. Good prayer. 10. Accuse not the servant unto his Lord, lest he disesteem thee and thou be found guilty. Hey, we don't have servants now, but do not slander a servant to his master, or he will curse you and you will become guilty. Okay. 11 through 14 goes together. He's talking about a generation. And this could be the generation today, right? A generation is that lightly esteemeth their father and their mother doth not bless. A generation pure in their own eyes, but from their own filth not washed. A generation, how high are their eyes, yea, their eyelids are lifted up. Think they're better, looking down on everybody, right? A generation, swords are their teeth, and knives their jaw. Teeth to consume the poor from the earth, and the needy from among men. Right. Okay. Let's read that over here. There's a generation that curses its father and does not bless its mother. There's a generation that is pure in its own eyes, yet not washed from its filth. There's a generation, how haughty its eyes and pretentious its looks. There's a generation whose teeth are swords and whose fangs are knives, devouring the oppressed from the land and the needy from among mankind. Okay? Yeah, it was, these generations are always there, okay? They're haughty, they're proud, they were not disciplined as children. Right? They look down on everybody lower than themselves, right? Instead of wanting to help them, they ridicule them, right? Okay. Now this one, I had to do some research on this guy right here. Okay. To the leech our two daughters give, lo, three sayings are not satisfied. Okay. This part right here, let's turn that. No. Well, let me undo it. Okay, a leech. They suck blood, and it's never satisfied. The leech has a forked tongue, has two tips, daughters, tips of the tongue. And the two tips are always searching for blood. They are never satisfied. Okay? Right. Interesting, huh? Okay. Three things are not satisfied. Four have not said sufficiency. Okay. Four things that never say enough. Okay. Sheol, or hell as it's known up today. It was never called hell in the Bible. Right? A restrained room, woman without children. Earth is not satisfied with water, and fire is not satisfied. Right? Earth always needs water, even though it's full of water. And fire. If you stop feeding it, it goes out. So a fire is never satisfied. Four things that are never satisfied. 17. An eye that mocketh at a father and despiseth to obey a mother, dig it out. Dig it out, do ravens of the valley, and eat it, do young eagles. May ravens pluck it out, and the young vultures eat it. Right? Eyes that mock, that bother. 18, another 4 things, right? 3 things are too wonderful for me, 4 I have not known. The way of an eagle in the heavens, the way the eagle flies. 1, the way of a serpent on a rock. How do they move? 2, the way of a ship in the heart of the sea. 3, and the way of a man in youth. Okay, it goes a little farther on that. It says, around a young woman. Okay, the way of men around young women. All right, you're all tough and you're all friends and you're all, and then a pretty girl comes in and they all turn into fools. And who understands why that is? Yeah, I think that's actually funny. Verse 20. So the way of an adulterous woman, she hath eaten and hath wiped her mouth and hath said, I have not done iniquity. Right. He thinks they have done nothing wrong. 21. There's another 3, no 4. 3 things of the earth been troubled, and for 4 it is not able to bear. 4 things earth cannot bear up under. A servant, when he reigneth, right? A slave that becomes a king, says in others. Number 2, a fool when he is satisfied with bread. For a hated one when she ruleth, and a maidservant when she succeedeth her mistress. An unloved woman when she marries, and a servant girl when she ousts her queen. Okay? Well, that happens even today. We will not go into that. 24. 4 are the little ones of earth, and they have made wiser than the wise. Another 4 things, right? Small, yet mighty. Right? And yet extremely wise. Okay? The ants are people not strong, and they prepare in summer their food. Always working, right? How many times have you got up in the morning and walked into your kitchen and found out that the ants have been working hard all night in your kitchen? Right? They don't have a leader, they just do it. 26. Conies, and that says conies, hyraxes. There's an animal that lives in the rocks, small animal. And every version seems to call it something different. Are people not strong yet? They place in a rock their house, and they live in the rocks on the cliffs. Right? A king there is not to the locust, and he goeth out, each one shouting. Right? Locusts travel in groups, in armies, in ranks, and they have no leader. Right? Amazing if you think about it. Now, see, this says a spider. Almost every other version says a lizard or a spider. Okay, it actually clarifies that in that one. A spider you can catch in your hands, right? With 2 hands take hold. And is in the palaces of a king, right? Right, they're in your house. You can catch them. They're small, they're mighty, they're wise. Okay, there's another 3, no 4. 3, there are going well, yea, 4 are good in going. Stately in their stride and stately in their walk. Okay. Stately in their stride and stately in their walk. 4 things. A lion, right? Mighty among beasts, that turneth not back from the face of any. Lions are afraid of almost nothing. A goat, one of the loins, or a he-goat. Wow. A girt one of the loins. A strutting rooster. Okay. And a he-goat. And a king, no rising up with him. Right. And a king when everybody's following him. Those are 4 things. Okay. A lion, a rooster, a goat, and a king. 32, if thou hast been foolish in lifting up thyself, and if thou hast devised evil, put your hand to your mouth. Right. For the churning of mouth bringeth out butter, and the wringing of the nose bringeth out blood, and the forcing of anger bringeth out strife. Right? And we're going to read this over here. This is kind of important about being humble. Okay? If you've been foolish by exalting yourself, or if you've been scheming, put your hand over your mouth. For the churning of mouth produces butter, twisting the nose draws blood, and stirring up anger produces strife. Right? If you keep talking, right? If you keep talking, if you keep exalting yourself, if you're prideful and conceited and arrogant, sooner or later, somebody's going to knock you down, okay? The key is to be humble. Humble. Okay? So you don't get beat up. So there you go. That's Proverbs 30. I said this is one of my favorite chapters. Kind of winds everything up, and we can go over the highlights. Okay? And let's read these over here. I am more stupid than any other man, and lack a man's ability to understand. I have not gained wisdom. I have no knowledge of the Holy One. Who has gone up to heaven and come down? Who has gathered the wind in his fist? Who has bound up the waters in a cloak? Who has established the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is the name of his son? Surely thou knowest. This is about God does all these things. I have not learned wisdom, right? You figure out the more stuff you learn, the more stuff you don't know. Okay? The key to wisdom is realizing that you will never be wise. Okay? You can know a lot of things, but you can only know a little bit. Right? A teaspoon of water out of the ocean. Right? You know that. You still have the whole ocean that you don't know. So we will never be truly wise. Right? We will always be seeking wisdom. Right? Interesting, huh? Okay, 5 and 6. Every word of God is pure. He is a shield to those who take refuge in him. Don't add to his words, or he will rebuke you, and you will be proved a liar. Thou hast been found false. Okay? They do this. They do this. Okay? They're even in this century, most of the Bibles in this century have been added to. They've added words. They've changed things around. Right? And honestly, I don't read Bibles that were this year, okay? Find an old Bible. King James of 1611 hasn't been changed, right? The New American Standard from 1995 and the NIV from 1982, right? Which were good Bibles to begin with. Then they were bought by large companies who added to them and changed them and made them false, trying to steer you away from God, okay? You want to stick with the old Bibles. Okay? And when I study the Bible, I study 5 or 6 or 7 versions at one time, okay? I will read the verse out of each one to see how it's changed over the years, over time. Okay? Yeah, I mean, you can go back to the Geneva Bible, which was written in 1560, okay? And compare it to one of the newer Bibles and see how much they've changed and added, taken away. 7, 8, and 9, Agar's prayer. Something we could pray every day. And let's read that over here. 2 things I ask of you, Lord. Don't deny them to me before I die. Keep falsehood and deceitful words from me. Give me neither poverty nor wealth. Right? Feed me with the food I need, otherwise I might have too much and deny you, saying, who is the Lord? Or I might have nothing and steal, profaning the name of my God. Right? What did Jesus say when he was praying? Pray this way. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Right? Give us this day our daily bread. Right? Right? Feed me with the food I need. Good prayer. Okay, and we talked about a generation. And these generations come and go. More often than not, there is a generation out there now that this describes perfectly, right? There's a generation that curses its father and does not bless his mother, that is pure in its own eyes, yet is not washed from its own filth. How haughty its eyes and pretentious his looks, this generation. Right? There's a note there. Its eyelids lifted up, looking down on everybody. There's a generation whose teeth are swords and whose fangs are knives, devouring the oppressed from the land and the needy from among mankind. Right? People who look down on other people. God doesn't like that, okay? He's very, very clear about that. Okay? 4 things that never say enough. Sheol, a childless womb. Earth, which is never satisfied with water. If you don't keep watering plants, they're going to die, okay? And fire. If you don't keep feeding a fire, it's going to go out. Things that never say enough, okay? And 4 things that he can't understand. How an eagle flies, how a snake moves on a rock, the way of a ship at a sea. Some people doing it, and I have no idea how they do that with the wind and the sails. Completely foreign to me. And the way men act around young, pretty women, right? I don't understand that. And we highlighted 32 and 33. If you've been foolish by exalting yourself, or if you've been scheming, put your hand over your mouth. For the turning a mouth produces butter, twisting a nose draws blood, stirring up anger produces strife. Right? Stop bragging. Right? Stop exalting yourself. People don't like it. You're going to get knocked down. So there you go. That's Proverbs 30. Like I said, that is my favorite proverb, the way it just wraps everything up. Right? Tells you what wisdom truly is. Being truly wise is realizing that you will never be completely wise. You will always learn. You should never stop learning. Okay? Never stop learning. You will never be able to say, okay, I know everything now, I'm wise. No, the secret is to never stop learning. All right? So there you go. It's an important. There's only one proverb left, and it is actually a poem. Right? The words of Lemuel, they say to King Lemuel. Lemuel is a pet term that Bathsheba called her son Solomon. Okay, those are words from Solomon's mother. It's very good, and that'll be the last one. And we'll do that later on today because there is no 31st. So we'll just do that later and cut it up into different ones. But stay tuned for that later on in a couple hours. And then this afternoon we will be on day 335. We're still in the book of Corinthians. So stay tuned for all that. But till then, be good. See you later.